Morning, everybody. How are you all? Uh, so, last class we have studied amplitude modulation, and we saw amplitude modulation. Basically, the definition was we are changing the amplitude of the carrier signal with respect to the amplitude of the message signal, and it is denoted by AM. Amplitude modulation is denoted by AM. We also saw the particular equation of amplitude modulation. We saw there was a message signal m of t. The equation of this message signal was am cos omega m, am cos omega m of t plus phi, right? We saw in case of any signal, there were three components that we have to focus on. The first one was the amplitude, the second one was the frequency, and the third one was the phase, right? These three things we have to focus on whenever we are seeing an equation. So this was the equation for message signal, and then the equation for carrier signal was AC cos omega ct plus phi. So we successfully saw the equation for our message signal and the equation for our carrier signal. Now both these signal are sinusoidal signal. We also saw the waveform of it. Suppose this is our message signal. This is T, and this one here is the amplitude, the maximum amplitude. This is our message signal M of T. In the same way, our carrier signal is also a sinusoidal signal, which can be represented as this. Carrier signal is always a high frequency signal. I am again and again repeating the same thing. Carrier signal is always a high frequency signal, and our message signal is a low frequency signal. That is the basic concept of modulation. Our message signal is a low frequency signal. That is why we need a carrier signal to transmit it from one point to another. So this is our carrier signal. So after modulation, the equation that we saw was S of t, that is the modulated signal, and the modulation is AM, amplitude modulation. So the equation is AC plus M of t, because we are embedding our message signal according to the definition of amplitude modulation. We can clearly see here we are just following the definition of amplitude modulation, right? What we are doing according to the definition of amplitude modulation, we are embedding our message signal into the amplitude of our carrier signal. This cos, whenever we see cos omega ct, this is our carrier signal. So the amplitude of the carrier signal is AC. So with AC, the amplitude, we are combining our message signal m of t, and we are embedding it into the amplitude of our carrier signal. So when we are doing this, the waveform becomes, this is our amplitude of the message signal. Now carrier signal's amplitude is changed according to the amplitude of the message signal. So this is the carrier signal. The amplitude of the carrier signal is changing according to the according to the amplitude of the message signal. Here the amplitude of the message signal is less, so the amplitude of the carrier signal is also less. Look at over here. We had a constant amplitude for every carrier signal, right? We had a constant amplitude for here, but in this case, it's not so. The amplitude is changing. We don't have a constant amplitude. The carrier signal amplitude is changing, and it is changing with respect to the amplitude of the message signal. This is the amplitude of the message signal. With respect to this only, the amplitude of the carrier signal is changing. Understood? Now, coming to this equation, this particular equation we observed. Now we have to simplify this equation. We have to find a general equation. For that, what we are doing, we are taking s of t, just solving the simply, we are solving the equation. Take AC outside the bracket. This amplitude of the carrier signal, take it outside this bracket. So after taking this AC outside the bracket, we will get AC into 1 plus, do we have AC here? We don't have an AC over here, but since we are taking AC outside, we'll write here 1 by AC to neutralize this equation. 1 by AC into empty into cos omega CT plus phi. Now, when I was studying my BTech, one question came to my mind when I saw this equation, and the question was, why the hell do we need to take AC out? What is the use? I'll tell you the use. Just wait and listen. Okay. So, since we have taken this AC out, you understood how here we got 1 by AC, right? If we have an equation over here like 2 plus 3, and I'm telling you, take 2 outside. So what you will do? You will take 2 outside plus 1 plus, you don't have 2 over here, so you will write 3 by 2x. Why you will write 3 by 2x? Because when you will solve this, you will get 2 into 1 is 2 and 3 by 2 into 2 is, this 2 and this 2 will cancel, you will get 3x, right? So you are getting the original equation back. Understood? So following this rule only, so following this rule only, here we have taken 1 by AC. Now since we have taken 1 by AC, this equation can be now written as AC is equal to 1 plus, this 1 by AC is a constant and this is called as Ka. I'll tell you what Ka is. First let me write the equation like this. Okay, so 1 by AC is nothing but Ka. Now this Ka is called as the amplitude sensitivity of the modulator. Okay, this Ka, I'm sorry, this Ka is called as the amplitude sensitivity of the modulator. Okay, this K is called as the amplitude sensitivity of the modulator. Now, I told you in the beginning when we took this AC outside, the basic question that comes into the mind is why the hell do we want to complicate the equation? So now why we want to complicate this equation? The answer is this KAMT. This thing is very important to see whether we are getting our signal back or not. Okay, this amplitude sensitivity of the modulator is a very important coefficient. How it is important? Uh, See, this particular signal is called as the modulated signal. We are modulating the signal. We are mixing our message signal into our carrier signal so that we are able to transmit it. When we are receiving the signal in the demodulator side, when we are receiving the signal in the receiver side, we want to get our message signal back, right? We want to have our message signal back. So what we will do? We will remove our carrier signal and message signal. We will separate our carrier signal and message signal, and we will take our message signal and ignore our carrier signal, because message signal is what is important, right? So for proper recovery of this message signal, it is very important that this ka empty, this ka into empty, this is less than 1. It is very important for proper recovery of our message signal at the demodulator. It is very important to have this ka into empty less than 1. Okay, so we'll see this. Just give me a second to erase it. Okay, so I told you that this ka empty is very important in determining whether we'll be able to recover our signal back properly or not. So for that, it should be less than 1. Now I'll show you the waveform to explain it properly. This is our message signal. This is our carrier signal. Once we are modulating it, this is the message signal, this is the carrier signal, and this is the modulated signal. So once we are modulating it, the amplitude of our message signal is traced by the carrier signal like this. So what happens? This is the proper modulation that happens. But if this k of m of t, this ka into m of t is less than 1, then this kind of modulation is going to happen. Okay, but if it is greater than 1, if it becomes, if this ka of m of t, this becomes greater than 1, then what happens in the signal after modulation? Our message signal get combined like this. So because of this, what happens? We have our carrier signal as usual, it is taking place, following, trying to follow. But look at the thing over here, this particular area, this particular area, this particular area, two message signal are combining. So crosstalk is happening. So it becomes difficult. At this point, it becomes very difficult to recover the message signal over here. This is called as distortion. This distortion occurs, and because of this distortion, it is very difficult to get our message in this particular region. Okay, because of this, we don't want our ka into m of t to be greater than 0. It is always asked to maintain ka of m of t less than 0. This is called as under modulation. When ka of m of t is 0, this is particular method is called as under modulation. And when ka into m of t is greater than 1, this technique is called as over modulation. Now there is one more case that can happen, right? This ka into m of t can be equal to 1 too. So when this ka into m of t is equal to 1, this kind of modulation is called as critical modulation. This kind of modulation is called as critical modulation. Okay. So what happens in this case of critical modulation, we have a signal over here. The moment our message signal ends, the new signal starts. Okay, so this is what critical modulation is about. In case of under modulation, this is a little bit under modulation when Ka into m of t is very less than 1, then the signal we get will be something like this. This has end, then after some duration this has formed after some duration. So we have a gap, distance between two signals like this. Up to a certain period of time there is no transmission. So this happens when Ka of m of t is very less than 1. So in case of over under modulation this happens. Okay, so this is not needed. This and this is somewhat needed. Okay, this particular thing and this under modulation is somewhat needed, but generally under modulation is much more preferred. Okay, so another topic that we'll cover in this lecture is modulation factor. Again, we'll see the equations that we saw. S of t, this S of t was when we took out our AC, it was AC into 1 plus K of A, which is amplitude sensitivity of the modulated signal. This K of t into M of t into cos omega ct plus phi, right? So we are not making any changes in phi. This phi that is present over here, this phase of the cos signal that is present over here, we are not making any changes in this phi, so we can delete this phi. We don't need this phi, so we can easily delete this. Okay, it's not an issue, we can delete this phi. Okay, so once we delete it, this is the equation that we saw. This equation is generally called as uh, the standard AM wave. Okay, this equation is generally called as the equation for standard AM wave. Let me write it easily. This equation is generally called as standard AM wave. Okay, so whenever they'll ask you to write the equation for standard AM wave, we are going to write this equation. Now we want to see what is modulation factor. So we have to make some changes over here. We know the equation for m of t. M of t is nothing but the message signal, which was equal to am into cos omega ct, right? Am into cos omega ct plus phi. Again, I'm telling you, we are not changing the phase. So for simplicity, we'll just neglect this phi. Okay, we'll take the equation till here only. For our simplicity, we are neglecting this phi. So this is our equation. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is our equation. So substitute this value of m of t in this equation. After substituting this value, you will get something like AC into 1 plus Ka into Am cos omega mt This one is not CT, this is MT, because this is message signal, right? Omega MT whole into cos omega CT. This is the equation that you will get. Now after you receive this, after you get this equation, this value Ka of into Am of, this is called as mu AC into 1 plus mu cos omega mt whole into cos omega ct. Now this mu is nothing but the modulation factor. Okay, this mu, this is equal to Ka into Am and this mu is called as the modulation factor or modulation index. Okay, this is called as modulation factor or modulation index, and it has no unit. It is a dimensionless constant. Why it is a dimensionless constant? I'll explain you how it is a dimensionless constant. So the first thing over here that we saw, it was mu is equal to Ka and Am of Ka into Am, and this is called as the modulation factor or the modulation index. Now this is a dimensionless constant, that means it does not have any dimension. Now why? What was this Ka? In the previous few minutes before, I told you Ka, this was the amplitude sensitivity, which was 1 by AC. Now the amplitude of AC, let us suppose it is volt. Amplitude of AC is volt. Now what will be the amplitude of AM? This is the amplitude of carrier signal, this is the amplitude of message signal. So the amplitude, the unit will be same in case of both message signal and carrier signal. So this will be cancelled, right? In Ka also we have an amplitude of 1 by volt, and in Am we have an amplitude of volt. So this volt and this volt can be cancelled. Hence in mu we don't have any dimension. Now another important question in numericals that you will get from here is percentage of modulation. Whenever you hear the term percentage of mu, modulation index or percentage of modulation factor, just multiply the given mu with 100. That is what is your percentage of modulation factor. Okay. Now one more topic we will cover in this lecture, and then we will move to the next class. The next topic is frequency domain description of AM. Till now, the equations that we saw, it was in time domain. The waveform that we saw, it was also in time domain. The waveform that we were drawing, it was in time domain, right? Here in the x-axis, it was time, and in the y-axis, it was amplitude. So the waveform that we were drawing and the equations that we saw was time domain. Now we'll see the frequency domain description of AM. We'll see just the equation for now, and in the next class we'll see the bandwidth and the waveform of frequency domain description. Okay, so first thing that we have to understand in case of frequency domain representation, whenever we are multiplying two signals, in case of amplitude modulation, we are multiplying two signals. One is the message signal, another is the carrier signal. So whenever we are multiplying two signals which are at different frequencies, or we are combining two signals which are at different frequencies, the carrier signal frequency is f of c and the message signal frequency is f of m. So we are combining two signals which is at a different frequency. We get a new signal which is present at a frequency which is different than these two, and this frequency is called as side frequencies. The new signal is present in a different frequency. When we are combining two signals with two frequencies, the new signal is present at a different frequency, and this frequency is called as side frequency or side bands. Okay, side frequency or side bands. These two frequencies that we are getting, this will be just the addition of the previous two frequencies and the subtraction of the previous two frequencies. This is the new frequency that we will get. We will get two frequency and these will be called as side bands. One will be the addition of the previous frequencies and other will be the subtraction of the previous frequency. So when we are talking about the addition of the frequencies, FC plus FM, addition of the carrier frequency and the message frequency, this will be called as upper side band or USB, upper side band. When we are talking about subtraction of FC minus FM, this will be called as LSB, that means lower side band. Okay, so frequency representation of AM, in frequency representation of AM, two frequency FC and FM are combined. We will get our message will present at a different frequency. One frequency will be FC plus FM, which will be called as the USB. Other frequency will be FC minus FM, which will be called as the LSB. Now when we'll see the equation that we got in case of modulation index, the modulation index that we found out, the equation from that we got was AC 1 plus mu cos omega mt into cos omega ct. This is the equation that we got, right? Where mu was nothing but, where mu is nothing but it is amplitude sensitivity into AM, right? Which is called as the modulation index and it is dimensionless. Okay, now this omega m, what is omega? Omega is 2 pi f, right? So omega m will be 2 pi fm. We are doing it because we need frequencies here, and this is omega is the angular frequency. So we just need the simple frequency. So replace this omega m and omega c by 2 pi value. So here it will be 2 pi fm and here it will be 2 pi fc. Now multiply this, open this bracket and multiply this. So if we open this bracket and we multiply, we will get AC cos 2 pi fct. Try to multiply it by yourself and see whether you are getting the same answers or not. Try to do it by yourself. In second case, we will get if you got the same answer, then very nice. I don't have a digital pen because of this lockdown. Otherwise, it would have been easy for me to write. I'm very sorry for taking so much time. You can forward your video to 1.5 or 2 and see it. Okay. So this is the equation that we are getting after multiplying it. Now here again, see this value cos 2 pi f of t into cos 2 pi f c of t. This is nothing but cos A into cos B, right? The formula of cos A into cos B is, we have a formula of 2 into cos A into cos B. This is the formula, and the formula of this is 2 cos A into cos B is cos A minus B plus cos A plus B. This is the formula, right? Here we have cos A into cos B. So this 2 will take it to this side and it will be divided by 2. So just put the value of this equation in this formula, where A is 2 pi Fm of t. This is what A is. And B is 2 pi Fc of t. This is what B is. Okay. So put the values of A and B in this equation. After putting it, we'll get our equation like AC cos 2 pi Fc of t plus mu A, we are not making any changes, so it will be as it is, mu AC by 2. This 2 we are getting from here. Okay, mu AC by 2 into whole into what it will be, cos A plus B. So cos A minus B. So this minus this will be 2 pi, we are taking common. It will be Fc minus Fm. Don't put Fm minus Fc. Always put Fc minus Fm. Okay, because frequency of Fc is greater than frequency of Fm, into t plus cos 2 pi Fc plus Fm. Clear? So here, now from this equation we are observing a few things. I'll tell you what we are observing and then we'll end the session. Okay, the things that we are observing through this is, first of all, this does not contain any message. Is there any message in this? Are we finding 2 pi Fm? Fm is there? No. Am is there? No. So this equation is just the carrier. Okay, here we have, this is LSB, lower sideband, because what we are doing, Fc minus Fm, so this is the lower sideband. Here we have USB, which is upper sideband, Fc plus Fm. So in case of AM signal, the modulation that we are doing and the frequency domain representation that we are doing, here we are observing we have a carrier signal, which is a carrier signal, plus we have one lower sideband and we have one upper sideband. Okay, till here you all remember. Next class I'll show you the waveform, diagrams of frequency representation. We'll see the bandwidth, we'll solve a few questions, and then we'll understand the basic of this. What is frequency division multiplexing? Till frequency division, sorry, not frequency division, frequency domain description of AM. So till then, have a good day.